Hello, and welcome to the first episode of my podcast. I don't know how we got here, but here we are. But hello, everyone. My name is Lindsay, otherwise known as L Weebs on most social media platforms. You may know me from twitch.tv, where I have frequently streamed. I actually am on hiatus right now for about 4 months now. So, hello to all of my chatters from Twitch. It's nice to see you. If you're new here, I will do a little introduction of me. And for those who already know me, here's a little brush up on things that I like and things I want to talk about. So, I'm 24 years old. I live in a small town of the state of Illinois. I live about 3 hours from Chicago, so not necessarily a Chicagoan, but I do frequent there. I also am just finishing up my master's degree. I got my bachelor's degree at St. Ambrose University in Iowa. I got my bachelor's in social work there. And then I am working on my master's of social work now. I actually graduate in about 4 weeks, so I'm very excited for that. I decided to start making this podcast because I am just in a whole different area of my life now. And like the title says, I am starting new beginnings. And I thought, why not document it? Also, as I'm starting to get back out of my hiatus from Twitch, I thought about branching out when it comes to content creation. So, not only will I be back on Twitch streaming about once to twice a week, but I will also be posting content for this podcast as well as content on my Patreon. In the future, after I can invest in a good camera, I will also be posting videos on YouTube, and hopefully at that point I will also have a visual aspect to this podcast instead of solely being an audio podcast. As I said, this is a new beginning of my life, and I'm 24 years old. It is prime time to experience my 20s. And there's so much going on during your 20s that I wanted to talk about it with all of you. I would say I'm kind of in my second transition to adulthood. I know typically people talk about transitioning into adulthood when you turn 18, but I feel like now that I am getting out of college, I'm kind of in that second transition where I'm really, really realizing that this is it. This is adulthood. So I will be taking you guys along with me on this journey as I transition to this second part of adulthood with getting a new job, moving out of my home and into my own apartment, managing financials, being a single mom to my dog, and also my life on the internet and making content. I'm very excited for this podcast because, as it says, it is a casual podcast. Everything that I am planning on talking about on this podcast is going to be a very casual but open and unscripted conversation. And I hope we can feel like we are just on a voice call, like Discord. Some things about me, other than my education and kind of where I am in life now, is I really like to read, and I'm very into poetry. So occasionally I might bring up a story or a book or a poem that I think fits the theme of the episode. I really love poetry, and I hope that I can share my love of poetry with you guys through this podcast also. Some other things that I like just yapping. And if you haven't figured out already, I am making my career out of yapping. I love to yap, whether it is at a coffee shop, in my friend's car, live on Twitch, or with one of my clients. I am always yapping. So why not make a podcast about it too and yap some more? I also love gaming. I've always been a gamer. My brothers really got me into gaming as I grew up, and I've been exploring a lot of new games while on Twitch. Some of the games that I have really enjoyed growing up and even recently, the Sonic games, Sonic the Hedgehog, big Sonic fan, which we can talk about that more later in my hyperfixations. I also love a lot of Lego games. I love Lego Star Wars. And recently I've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, which, if you're interested in that, you can go watch my Twitch. I'm also exploring more games, so if any of you guys want to chat about different games you want to see me play on Twitch, feel free to let me know and join my Discord. I love to do tarot readings. That's something I also do on Twitch. My sun sign is in Gemini, my moon is in Aries, and my rising is in Gemini. Fun fact about me also is that my astrological chart is about 90% Gemini. So take that as you wish. Another thing about me is I love to spend time in nature. I love hiking. I love traveling. I have a lot of road trip stories. So if you guys want to hear about those, road tripping, living on the road, camping, all of that fun stuff, we can talk about that. And I always love a good caffeinated beverage, coffee, tea, energy drinks. I love it all. I love having a sweet treat or a fun little drink every single time. In fact, I have a fun little drink right now. Can you guess what it is? An iced coffee. I'm just a girl. Anyways, those are some things about me, the basic things that I like to do, immerse myself in. I love anything creative and immersive. And I love to share more about those things with you and bond over those things with you. All right, next, let's talk about what this podcast is going to be about. I want to start off actually with a poem, as I have already kind of hinted at. I don't think I'm going to start off with a poem all the time, but if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. I have a lot of poetry knowledge, so I feel like I have a poem for almost every theme here, so let me know. But I think this one fits really well, and I think it's a good segue into talking about what this podcast is about. So, the poem is written by Mary Oliver. She is a well known American author, and this poem is called The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I absolutely love this poem, and I love Mary Oliver. The reason why I chose this poem is because it pushes us to think about what is our purpose in life. And I know, I really shouldn't be getting philosophical in the first episode here, but I want to make you think and also make myself think. What is the purpose? What's the purpose of living? What's the purpose of this podcast? Like she says, who even made the world? What is it we plan to do with our one and wild, precious life that we have? This makes me really think about everything that I want out of my life, what I want out of my life online, I have such a strong presence online that it makes me wonder, like, what's my impact? It's also why it drove me to create a podcast because, yeah, a lot of people have podcasts. Almost every content creator that I know has a podcast or will make a podcast. However, I still think that there's some sort of purpose for me being online, having this community, and sharing what I have to offer. And that's what I love. As we keep going forward, I'm going to keep thinking about what is the purpose of this podcast. And each episode, I want to have some sort of meaningful purpose, whether it's just a place to hang out, to be casual, have some conversations, or to really dive deep into more serious or complicated issues. Either way, I'm really excited to share these experiences with you, share these stories with you, and have this journey together. This poem really pushes me to think about the things that make me happy and the things that I want to do. And one of the things that makes me happy is creating content and sharing my stories. I'm a storyteller. I always have been. And if that makes me happy, then I'm going to do it. And I hope that makes you happy too. I hope this pushes you to do something that makes you happy too. Anyway, the podcast is about those things. Finding things that make us happy, finding purpose in our lives, our purpose online, exploring our interests, relating to one another, crying with one another, laughing with one another, all of that fun stuff. And I'm so excited to do it all with you. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be raw. I want to be unscripted. And just like Mary says in this poem, there are things she doesn't know how to do, and there's things she does know how to do. So why not just explore all of those? Be vulnerable with the things that you don't know about, and be proud of the things that you are good at and you do know about. So yeah, let's just explore all those things together. Some other things that you will see on this podcast are some stories, anecdotes of my life, some advice, maybe not professional advice, but advice, mental health discussions, maybe some plans for the future, and just casual conversations about life, the ups and downs of it all. I am very excited to explore all of the areas in which this podcast can lead, and I would love your input as well. So feel free to reach me on Discord. You can join my server and go to the suggestion channel and suggest podcast ideas. You can follow me on Twitch and see my live streams at least once a week. And also check me out on Patreon. It is a new area of content that I am exploring, so feel free to check that out. My other socials will be linked down below as well. Alrighty, and that is it for me for today. Thank you so much for listening. I can't believe you wanted to sit here and listen to me yap for however many minutes. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for checking out everything that I'm doing and supporting me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, wherever you are. Eat some good food, get yourself a sweet treat, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye!